So please, could you share those things here? I've got to be able to share the things. Rajan sir?
Ajay sir, Ajay.
I have got to be able to share those things that I sent yesterday. Will you let me?
Wait, sir. Can you see Ajay right now?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine, I can see. So, dear participants, today we are talking about reading comprehension. When we do the reading comprehension, what are the things that we have to take into consideration? These are some of the important things. You know, so generally when people start reading comprehension, there are certain questions. So I didn't understand the vocabulary. I couldn't get what the text exactly says. So all these are the things that people generally make a complaint of. So there are certain tips and tricks, you know. There are certain tips and tricks that you must take into consideration while making a reading, this comprehension. The first one is, do not read the text at once. Don't jump into the text at once. So what you have to do is, you have to read the questions first. The best way is to read the questions first.
Vishnu sir. Hello. Vishnu sir. ए सन्देश
हजुर सर
सर बोलिरहेको छ छैन हैन त
सरको म्युट त माइक के भयो
म्युट छैन तर बत्ती गयो कि
बत्तीको होइन मेसेज भर्खर गर्नुभएको थियो
मेसेज गरेर गर्नु
go live. Okay, that's fine. Now, can you hear me now? Hello? You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So even the host itself has muted me, so I was just speaking. Anyway, thank you so much. Today we are talking about reading comprehension, and the first thing that we have to note while reading the comprehension is you have to find out the area. Which area the text is all about? Is the text is from science and technology? Is the text is from sociology? Is the text is from anthropology? Is the text is from general day-to-day speaking language? You know, so which is the text? What area is the text from? In order to understand that, do not jump into the text at once. You know, the best way is to read the questions first. Once you read the questions first and get some ideas as to what the text is all about, it comes out to be easier. That's the first one. And the second one is read the passage for the first time and note how far the answers could be found. For example, the answers could be name, the answers could be date, events, specific information as per the demand of the question. You know, so if your comprehension requires specific points, you have to note those things. Now, begin to write the answer to the general questions. You begin to write the answer to the general questions first, and then only the specific questions like thematic questions and all. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, Rajendra sir is sharing. Okay, fine. Number 3. Begin to write the answer to the general questions, and having done that, finally attempt the conceptual or referential questions. You know, conceptual or referential questions. For example, what is the theme? What does the writer want to say? These are the conceptual questions. Sometimes your passage is very long. Sometimes your passage is very long. My point is that the question is long. The question in the comprehension passage could be long. If so, you have to break it. You have to break it. You know, break it into 2 or 3 parts so that it is essential, it is easy for you to understand. And another problem that generally students have, or another problem generally people ask me is, sir, I could not understand some of the vocabularies in the text. Fine, no problem. If you do not understand many words from the text, that turns out to be problematic. If you do not understand many words from the text, that turns out to be problematic. If you do not understand 1 or 2 words, you can conceptualize, you know. Look at the sentences below, look at the sentences above, and try to know what it means. at least you come to know whether it is a proper noun or a common noun, or whether it is a verb or something like that. You know, for example, he talked and talked and talked. I did not like to listen at all. Therefore, the meeting became very much monotonous. Now look, suppose you know the answer monotonous, you know the word monotonous. Suppose you don't know the word monotonous. If you do not know the word monotonous, look at the sentence. He talked and talked and talked. I did not want to listen. Means monotonous must be something boring, something uninteresting. I'm sorry. So try to understand the meaning of certain words, according to the context. Vocabs in context. Okay, please lower the slides. Okay, first questions, please. Read the, okay. Down. First questions to this. I want students to read the questions. Okay, just below, even below that, there are questions. Below the passage, there are questions. Not the passage, I want the questions. Please share the questions. Still down. Hello? Is it only this, or? Yes, please. This is only the passage, and below the passage there are questions. Please go below.
श्रेष्ठ माइक अफ गर्नु को
Yeah, it's taking some time to share. Well, okay. And below this passage, there are some questions. This is so that having read the questions, you come to know what the passage is all about. Can we go a little bit below this, sir? Rajendra, sir, can we go below this? Yes, even below this. Yes, now question still below. Yes, still below that. Okay. Okay, there are 5 questions. Now look at the first question. Let us read the question first. What are lichens? And some people say lichens as well. Both of them are correct. Both pronunciations are correct. What are lichens or lichens? So, what was the conclusion drawn with lichens or lichens? What do you mean by autotrophic and heterotrophic? What wrong concept prevailed regarding lichens and fungi? What do fungi do to algae? So, the first thing is, let us see, all these questions have started with what? It means they want specific information. It means these questions want specific information. What are lichens? Once you happen to see this, you come to know this is all about biology, or this is all about science. What was the conclusion drawn with the lichens? So another is, you have to, when you read, you have to focus on somewhere where conclusion is made. Next one is, what do you mean by autotrophic and heterotrophic? You have to focus where autotrophic and heterotrophic have been mentioned. And the next one is, what wrong concept prevailed regarding lichens and fungi? Okay, now again you come to know the text is all about lichens and fungi. And again there's another word, algae. What do fungi do to algae? So you come to know this is entirely related to plant. It is entirely related to science. You know, so somewhere they want definition, somewhere they want conclusion, somewhere they want specific answers to these two words like autotrophic and heterotrophic. Having kept these ideas into mind, you can now read the passage, please. Please read the passage. Sir, now passage, please. Look at the first question, what are lichens, and read the first paragraph. Read the first question, what are lichens, and read the first paragraph given there. Sir, passage, please. Okay, sir is doing the passage. He's trying to show you. Yes, still below, right from the beginning of the passage, first paragraph. Yes, okay, still below, yeah. Still a little bit up. Okay, now please read the first one. Okay, from there, okay, fine. All the students, now please read this and keep in mind, what do you mean by lichens? Lichens, of which more than 20,000 species have been banned, are complex associations between certain fungi and certain algae. The lichens itself is not an organism, rather it is morphological and biochemical product of the association. Neither a fungus nor an algae alone can produce lichen. So, can anyone answer me? Can anyone speak out the answer now?
Lichens are complex association between certain fungi and certain algae.
Okay, very good. You don't need additional information. If certain additional information or some other things are given there, omit that. Some people, what they do is, they find the answer in the passage and copy exactly. That is not to be done. For example, lichens, of which more than 20,000 species have been banned, are complex associations and all. You know, don't do that way. Just hit the point. Lichens are complex associations of certain fungi and algae. Finished. That's all. Lichens are complex associations between certain fungi and algae. You know, that's all. Okay. Now, please below, second question. Second question, please. Yes. What was the conclusion drawn with lichens? Again, passage. Conclusions drawn with lichens. So now again up with the passage. All right. Now, Can you see the second answer? What was the conclusion?
The two components of lichens were separated and grown apart.
Okay. The intimate relationship between these two living components of lichen was once erroneously thought to represent mutualism. Now remember this first point also. In mutualistic relationship, participant benefit. With lichens, however, it appears the fungus parasitizes the algae. This is one of the conclusions drawn from the experiment in which two components of lichens were separated and grown apart. Now look, from the above point, what can you say? The intimate relationship between these two living components of lichen was erroneously thought means mistakenly thought to represent mutualism, means mixing up. So previously it was thought that, you know, these components of lichens, you know, they are thought to go mutually, you know, but later on, what was the conclusion drawn? Two components of lichens were separated and grown apart. That is only the point. You know, two components of lichens were separated and grown apart. Lichens को दुईवटा componentहरु के हुन्छ त experiment द्वारा के conclusion draw गरियो त तिनीहरु separate हुन्छन् र grown apart हुन्छन्. Fine. You find the exact answer here. Okay. Still the third question. What was the third question? If you have copied third question, you can say. Yes, one second question, please. I think the third question is all about this autotropic, heterotropic, and autotropic. Still, yeah. What do you mean by autotropic and heterotropic? So before you go to the passage, before you deal with the passage, understand the word auto. What do you mean by auto? AUTO. Like we have got automobiles, autonomy. What do you mean by auto? Keep that in your mind before you go to the next. Yes? Yes, someone tries to speak. Please speak up. Fine.
Halfway.
Sorry, I couldn't listen well. Could you say once again? Yes, please.
आफै खाना बनाउने हो.
होइन न, मैले तपाईलाई autotropic भनेको के भन्ने कुरा त माथि प्यासेजमा दिएको छ हैन, तर त्यो प्यासेजको बुझ्नुभन्दा अगाडि नै अटो भन्ने शब्दले केलाई जनाउँछ? त्यो सिम्बल AUTO auto भन्नाले केलाई जनाउँछ ल भन्नुस् त? Yes.
सिंगल के सन्देश?
Yes, single. Fine.
सन्देश?
हजुर हजुर सर.
सन्देश?
हजुर सर.
राधिका?
हजुर.
अनिश?
हजुर
सर.
हेलो?
हजुर भन्छु न.
मैले बोलिरहेको छु त.
म पनि बोल्दै छु.
सुन्ने हैन?
सरकोमा सुन्दैन.
हेलो.
हरि?
हेलो.
सुन्दैन त?
सुनिरहेछ सर.
हामी त सुनिरहेको छौँ.
मेसेज गर त सरलाई, मेसेज गर. सरलाई मेसेज गर. तिमीहरूले भनेको सरले सुन्नु भएको छैन, सायद सरको म्युट भयो होला फेरि.
आज त लास्ट म त भ्याइनमै छ हौ.
Okay. So you can message sir. Let me go to the topic. Auto means आफसे आप. हो? त्यतिवटा concept दिमागमा राख पहिला. Auto means itself. And another hetero. What do you mean by hetero? म तिमीलाई चाहिँ प्यासेजमा कुन कुरालाई चाहिँ कुन शब्दले कसरी चाहिँ माने पत्ता लगाउने भन्ने कुरा याद गराउँदै छु के. Hetero. What do you mean by hetero? Hetero भने के हो भन त? Okay. Now, let us see. In nature, lichen fungi may encounter and grow around several kinds of algae. Some types of algae, okay, hetero means different, fine, thank you very much. Some types of algae, the fungi may kill. Other types it may reject. Lichen algae, algae made from lichen. Lichen algae are autotrophic. Excuse me, above, please. My God, still below. Please, alikati tala passage ma lanuस्. We are still in the question, please. Above. Tala lanuस्, passage ma lanuस्, please. Hello.
सुन्ने छ सर हजुर बोलेको हामीले सुनिरह
यो प्यासेज चाहिँ अलिकति तल लानु पर्यो के.
राजेन्द्र सरले सुन्न सक्या छैन रे. हामी पढ्दा हुन्छ.
कसरी पढ्ने त नि कस्तो कुरा गरे प्यासेज न
सरले चाहिँ स्क्रिन शेयर गर्नु पर्यो. सरले स्क्रिन शेयर नगर्नुस् भने भन त म आफ्नोबाट गर्छु स्क्रिन शेयर मेरोबाट.
मोबाइलबाट नि मिल्छ नि सर.
मिल्छ म गर्छु हैन. सरले चाहिँ त्यो पावर पोइन्ट बनाउनु भइरहेछ. मैले चाहिँ वर्डमा गरेको छु. यो फाइल शेयर गर्न मिल्छ. द्याट इज फाइन यु नो.
मैले टेक्स्ट गर्दा छु.
हजुर
मैले टेक्स्ट गर्दा छु राजेन्द्र सरलाई स्क्रिन शेयर नगर्दिछु भनेर.
Okay, anyway, you know the answer. Autotrophic means those that make food themselves, according to the passage. Anyway, I think is still sharing, because of which
त्यसमा नभएको कुरा आफूले आफूमा नलेज भएको कुरा लेख्न पाइदैन है.
पाइदैन. Referential question छ भनेदेखि आइडिया सोधेको छ भने sometimes if your ideas are there, you can write. Otherwise, if it is asked, you can do. Otherwise, you know, you don't need to. No, it is.
सर कता जानुभएछ?
म यही छु हैन राजेन्द्र सरलाई मलाई अलाउ गर्नुस् प्यासेज भनेर मैले भन्न लागेको हो
सरलाई म कल गर्छु है।
प्यासेज सेयर गर्न मलाई अलाउ गर्नुस् भन्नु लाग्नुभएको उहाँले सेयर गर्नुन्जेलसम्म मैले मिल्दैन के अब I don't know what is happening. He has not allowed me to share the passage, otherwise I could have done. Okay, now let me see. You cannot share one of myself.
हजुर सर हजुर हजुर
Allow गर्नुस् share गर्न मलाई allow गर्नुस् त म चाहिँ उसबाट गर्छु त्यहाँ नि प्रब्लम भएको मलाई स्क्रिन शेयर गर्न allow गर्नुस् न सर म त्यो वर्ड नै शेयर म पास शेयर गर्छु कि म शेयर गर्न मिलेन Sure. Okay, sir. What happened again? I'm trying to share, but it's not sharing. Share भएन है मैले शेयर गरेको नोट
हेलो सर मसँग
हेलो
स्क्रिनशट गरेको छ त्यो के गर्नु मिल्छ
मैले यो शेयर गरिरहे भएन
विश्व सर
हजुर
यो मैले स्क्रिनशट गरेको थिएँ मिल्छ र त्यसरी पठाउन मैले
स्क्रिनशट खोइ सरले फेरि अलाउ गर्नुपर्छ मैले यहाँ गरेकै भएन while recording casting Zoom can capture any sensitive information that is displayed भने के गरेर आउँछ
मेरो त भइरहेछ सर शेयर स्क्रिन मैले भर्खर ट्राई
You
गरेको
cannot start screen share while other sharing भन्दै छ अरूले नगर्दिनुस् न म यहाँ गर्दैछु के सरले गर्ने